And welcome back to the Gridiron Address. Again, shout out Cody for that intro. I'm probably going to be shouting him out every episode because I love that. That is sick. Huge shout out to him. But yeah, we missed last week. I think we're probably going to be doing every other week for the rest of the off season, and then back to regularly scheduled programming once we get into the regular season. But he's back on the show. He's kind of a co-host at this point. Jason Calenzo, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing fantastic, man. I'm sitting here. I'm talking about football. August is right around the corner. Dude, I can't get any more excited.
I am super excited myself, and let's just jump right into it. 2 weeks ago, we ranked all the starting quarterbacks in the NFL. This week, we will be ranking all of the running back rooms in the NFL. So even if a team has one really good running back, but all the depth behind them isn't really that good, they might not be ranked as high as, say, a team that has two 1,000-yard rushers on their team. Hey, who could I be talking about? Possibly. Who could that be? But Jason, we're starting to see a little bit of a resurgence with the run game in the NFL. A lot of the best teams have a dynamic running attack that powers their offense. You obviously have the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles with Saquon Barkley, the best running back in the league, and Jalen Hurts. That is a really good duo. You have the two-headed monster in Detroit with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. You have Baltimore with Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. Jason, do you think that we're going to start to see a more significant shift towards run-heavy offenses in the NFL?
I think yes and no. A lot of it really depends on the offensive scheme of the team. Those teams that you talked about, they they put the emphasis on the run game and letting that kind of dictate where the game goes, how much they get the wide receivers involved, separation, etc. So I mean that's a little more old school football because you that's how you got the play action pass. You had a good run game. You focused on the run. You controlled things at the line of scrimmage. So do I see a lot of teams starting to go towards that old school mentality? Yes, but there's still a lot of teams out there that don't have one good running back or a good run game at all, let alone two, like some of the other teams. The Tampa Bay is another one with Bucky Irvin and White that is pretty dynamic. So, do I think it's going to stay? I hope so. I love the running back position. I think it is a position that is treated unfairly. It is also the position you get hurt almost the most at because you are literally hit all the time. So I'm excited to see what this year brings. I think we're going to see um, a lot more run heavy games coming out there, especially with those teams. So I hope so, man. I love the running back position. So excited to see it.
I would definitely like to see some more run-heavy offenses in the NFL too. It's a lot of fun to watch. I'm going to be
Oh yeah.
honest. Carolina, Chuba Hubbard had a breakout year. That was super, super fun to watch. I love that. But Jason, let's jump into these rankings now. We're kicking it off at 32, and I, I'm going to let you go first for this one,
I
just
appreciate
because
that.
I've got something cooking up that might get me kicked off of Boom Broadcasting.
Well, I definitely don't want to see you get kicked off because I love the show and I love being on the show. So, but my number 30, and this was tough. This was a hard list, man. The
Oh
quarterback
yeah,
one we did the first time was tough, but this made me think. 32, Travis Etienne Jr. and the Jags. Um, very, very poor showing last year. Jags just regressed. Trevor Lawrence looked horrible, but a lot of the reason he looked horrible and he was on his back most of the games was because they had literally no run game, whether it's Travis Etienne, Tank Bigsby. So very poor. He only had 558 yards and 2 touchdowns. So your starting running back barely cracks 600 yards and only has 2 touchdowns. That's pretty damn poor. So Jaguars, Travis Etienne. Don't be surprised to see. I hope I get his name right. Bashal
Bashal
Tunton.
Tootin.
Bashal Tunton. How do you say his name? From Virginia Tech, man. He is a beast. Don't be surprised to see him some point in time this year as the starting running back because those two guys I just said are falling back, and they're falling back hard because of last year.
Oh, without a doubt, and ETN's not even their starter anymore. He hasn't been playing good for a couple
No,
now. It's Tank Bigsby's job now, and I do think Tootin could inevitably become the starter there. He's super explosive.
he's a
But
monster.
at at 32, and I don't know if I hope Michael's watching or not. I've got the Cowboys.
Say it.
I've got the Dallas Cowboys. I almost feel bad, but I also don't.
Oof.
You have Javonte Williams, who struggled the past couple seasons in Denver, couldn't really get it going there. You have Miles Sanders, who had one really good year with Philadelphia, but I mean, behind that offensive line, almost any running back is going to look good. Sanders struggled with Carolina. Hubbard had a breakout season, so Sanders wasn't going to get any rushes. And even when he did, he just was not effective with the carries that he did get. And yes, you've got Jaden Blue out of Texas. Think Texas, and he could be solid, but when you're projected top 2 running backs, yes, they've been in the league for a few years, but they haven't been that good. That to me screams 32, and it was a coin flip between them and the Jags. Jason, I was really close to putting the Jags at 32, but decided to go with the Cowboys.
Man, um, that's rough. I mean, it's bad enough that Cowboys fans are dealing with the Micah Parsons drama. You're gonna just blatantly show that, yeah, you guys have probably the worst run game in the national, which is terrible to say after like Emmett Smith and some of the other phenomenal running backs that team has had. But unfortunately, that's rough, man. You're putting them below some rookies. I mean, so mm,
Yeah.
that's saying something.
Yeah, but Jason, who do you have at 31?
Well, excuse me. This is when I kind of start my cavalcade of rookies. Some of those guys that are looking like they're going to take over the number one spot, but haven't played it down in the NFL yet. So these guys can move up the list quick. My number 31 is R.J. Harvey of the Broncos. Broncos, Bo Nix. Man, he is the dude. He looked phenomenal last year. If it wasn't for some of the other rookies in the NFL, I think Bo Nix would have taken Rookie of the Year wholeheartedly. But Jaleel McMillan, you just picked up J.K. Dobbins, who had a good season for the Chargers, but hopefully he can stay healthy. But R.J. Harvey, they picked him number 60 in that second round for a reason. They need a run game to support Bo Nix and his passing game. So give me the Broncos. They can move up the list. We'll see what R.J. Harvey can do there in Mile High.
And that RJ Harvey is a great shout. I have him a little bit higher up, and I do understand your approach with the rookie running backs, and I think they can either fly up this list or fly down this list. I have a lot of them middle of the pack, but I mean, because they're in good situations, they can get touches early, so we could see them land where they are, or depending on performance, they could plummet down the list, skyrocket up the list. My 31, I mentioned earlier, it was a coin flip at 32 between the Cowboys and the Jags. I've got the Jags at 31. Jason already said all this to be said about their running back room.
Terrible.
ETN, just unfortunate situation. I thought he could have been good a couple years ago. That just hasn't panned out. And Tank Bigsby, I did have some hopes for him. He's doing better than ETN, but that's also not saying a whole lot. And yeah, it's just a rough situation down there in Jacksonville. Maybe Liam Cohen can get something cooking there, but possibly not. And Jason, who is your 30th ranked running back room?
Well, we have to talk about the Cleveland Browns. I think every room in Cleveland, besides the quarterback room, the running back room, I just think about every offensive part room in the Cleveland Browns as absolute dumpster fire. Quinshon Judkins came into this with high hopes, and now he has some legal troubles, unfortunately, that he has to deal with. So where's that going to leave him? You don't have Chubb anymore. He went off to the Texans. So you got Built Ford Tough. You got Jerome Ford, who's serviceable. He's really good, but he's not that guy. You got Dylan Sampson. So I think he's going to have to step in depending on what happens with Judikins and the legal troubles. But again, right now, Cleveland, I don't think they have any idea what they're doing. I mean, you might as well just put Joe Flacco out there as the running back and just do a two-headed quarterback. You can have him and Sanders, and you can kind of do like this dual quarterback thing instead of having a running back. So I don't know. I don't know what Cleveland's doing. They look terrible. That running back room is a hot mess right now. So we'll see. A lot of this is going to have to do with what happens with Judikins.
And I don't think it's that much of a mess. I mean, obviously the legal troubles with Judkins, that makes it a lot worse, but like you said, Ford is serviceable and Sampson is an explosive player who has high upside, so he can get a few touches a game behind a serviceable guy. Will Judkins actually get suspended? I honestly doubt it because, I mean, let's be real, the NFL doesn't always really care about domestic violence
It's a
situations.
shame.
I mean, yeah, I mean, Ray Rice suspended 4 games. That's all he got for that incident. So I really doubt Judkins gets suspended. So in my head, the Browns have both of their rookies and Jerome Ford heading into week 1 of the season. At 30 for me, I have Chicago, and this felt weird because I feel like we could
Wow.
see. I'm lower on. I'm not big on Swift. We saw him with the Lions offense while Ben Johnson was there.
Hmm.
Wasn't really clicking there. Solid season, but just not that big on him. Maybe Roshan Johnson can be something. He had really limited touches, which I would have liked to see him get more, but I'm just not sold on the Swift Johnson pairing in Chicago. Maybe it could be better, but I'm just not super high on him. I got him at 30.
I think a lot has to do with that offensive line. I know they did some
Yeah,
improvements, and that was
I
probably
am
one of
still
the
worried about that.
worst offensive lines in the NFL last year. Poor baby bear Caleb Williams always ended up on his back. But that's man,
Mhm.
Chicago.
Yeah,
That's
again,
wow.
like we've said, this was a hard list, and
This
and
was a hard list.
part of this was I also don't know how productive their running game will be because to me the Bears project as a pass heavy offense. They took Loveland. They have a lot of receiving threats. DJ Moore, Roma Dunze. I'm drawing a blank on who else they got.
Luther
Oh, Komet,
Burden.
Luther Burden. Thank
They
you.
picked up Burden. Yeah, man.
I
That
mean,
often, but that's how you get those guys started. You got to have the run
yeah,
game. Gotta have the run game.
that's true. But moving on to number 29, Jason. Who do you have here?
Again, just starting with the rookie cavalcade. This can change. This is a living, breathing list. Trevion Henderson. He's up there on the rookie stats as far as when you look at him as a fantasy perspective. And that was also the other tough part for me with this list here is Sideline Savants, the fantasy football show for Boom Broadcasting, coming out soon. I do host that, but so to look at this from an NFL perspective and then look at it from a fantasy football perspective is really tough. But Trevion Henderson, that Pats rookie, they do have Rashmonda Stevenson there too. I have a lot of questions with that offense. Drake May, new coach coming in. So can this rookie handle the load? So lots of questions on him. I think out of between him and Genty, man, I'm going to be excited to see what happens with these two guys. So, but mine number 29, that Pat's room, Travion Henderson. Let's see how far up the list you can make it this year.
And I mean, shout out Detroit fan man in the comments. Swift Johnson sounds like a running back room that should work. But yeah, if you keep watching, I think you're gonna like where I have the Lions later on in the show. We'll get to that. But at 29, Jason, please don't kill me for this. I've got your Giants.
Oof. Really?
Yeah, it was
Trace
Tracy
Jr.'s
solid,
oh man.
but he's a little small. We don't know what Scadaboo's gonna look like. Do y'all still have to, even if y'all still have Singletary? I feel like
Right.
he's a non-factor
Yeah.
at this point. But
Wow.
like you're saying, you've got this cavalcade of rookies going on. this is where I've got Scattaboo. I hope I'm proven wrong because I absolutely loved what Scattaboo did at Arizona State this past season. I'm I hope, uh, 4 months down the line, I look like a complete idiot on this take because I don't know. It would just be really funny to get to mess with Michael because the Giants are good again and Dallas is perpetually failing. So, yeah, fingers crossed on that. Moving on to number 28. And Jason, you mentioned them earlier. This is where I have the Browns because, like I said before, in my head,
Hmm.
Judkins isn't getting suspended. And I like the rookie duo of Sampson and Judkins more than I like Scattaboo. And like you said before, Ford is a solid, serviceable running back.
He is. He
And
is.
that's a solid trio. But again, it's the Browns, so you really can't put them too high. I feel like they're going to be leaning on the run pretty heavy, regardless of who they've got at quarterback, because it's a respectably deep running back room. Two of the guys obviously haven't played a snap, so we don't know what they'll look like. But I do think they could both be very, very good NFL running backs. Jason, who do you have at 28?
I'm going to go with those Los Angeles Superchargers. Marion Hampton rookie. He's again one of those guys coming out, tons of upside. But what is he going to do? You have one eye. You got Najee Harris. What's this whole injury to the eye? What's that going to do to him? How much is he going to be involved? They have Naeem Hines on the team. I didn't even know he was still in the league. So running back room wise, you're going to have to lean on the rookie right out the gate until we hear or see, no pun intended, if Najee can help with that team. So again, tons of upside. I think Hampton's one of those guys that can catch lightning in a bottle and just shoot up this list. But I want to see him play it down in the NFL first. So this is going to be exciting to watch. This man, we got a ton of good running back rookies this year. Man, I am so excited
Oh, yeah.
about it. NFL wise, fantasy football wise, because in the NFL, which stands for not for long, the running back window is not very wide. You got 3 to 5 years of good football, unless you're like a Frank Gore, which is just a non-existent anymore, where you're going
Mhm.
to get a lot of longevity. But man, I am excited this year with these running backs. But yeah, 28 Chargers, Hampton. What are you going to do? Let's see what we got.
Man, that I don't disagree with your thinking behind ranking the rookies this low, but like we mentioned in the quarterback episode, I like projecting. So I'm projecting where I think these guys are going to land, and but yeah, that does feel a little low for me. But again, really hard list. Moving on to number 27, and Jason, this is where I have the Broncos. I don't think this seems like a solid spot for him. I think RJ Harvey and Dobbins, they're going to be splitting carries. I think this is a good situation for Harvey. Dobbins is going to be a solid back for him to play behind. Has a little bit of an injury history, so that could provide a potential window for Harvey to get good carries early on. And Denver's, I as much as I hate to compliment Sean Payton, he has something really, really good cooking in Denver. I think they're going to be
Yes.
a dangerous team for a good while. Jason, who do you have at 27?
And this is where I round out my top rookies. And again, I like to project too, but I'm also it's kind of a realist right now. That's why this is a living, breathing list, because I know I'm driving all kinds of people crazy right now. The Omari and Hampton fans just lost their mind right now. So the Ashton Genty fans, you guys are next, because I got 27. I got the Raiders. Ashton Genty, the number, first drafted running back here, number 6, from the Raiders, who I think he's going to be phenomenal. But you only got Moster, you got Zamir White, so you don't have much behind him. As a rookie, is he going to be able to come in and be that beast mode 2.0 for Pete Carroll and that offense? I don't know. I want to see something. I want to see him play a snap, because this is the NFL, and I need to see some meat on the bone before you kind of make it up the list. So again, he has the shot of shooting up this list. He's going to be he's going to be a first round pick in most people's fantasy football because he's going to be like that dude. Shout out podcast Mitty. But you know, I need to see something. I love Mostert, but he's kind of done. Zamir White, hit or miss. But Genty, let's see what you can do in the NFL, man. I want to see something. So, but that's why I got him number 27.
Sean Lucas agreeing Denver's got something cooking that's really scary. And I mean, yeah, it's the AFC West is going to be a really, really fun division to watch,
Yes.
especially as a football fan with zero skin in the game in that division. I'm super excited for. Well, my uncle's a Chiefs fan, so there's that, but that's fine. It's going to be some good football. Moving on to 26. This is where I have the Bengals and Chase Brown.
What?
Yeah,
What?
the offensive line's terrible. Zach Moss isn't. He's okay as a backup. I'm gonna be honest.
Man, is the defensive hate that much? You had to put the Bengals that
It's
low. Shamar Stewart, don't get. He finally got paid, man. Let it
finally
go.
it took him long
Finally got
enough. Dear
paid.
Lord,
I was
sign
waiting for
Hendrickson
the.
now.
I was
Sign
waiting for the
Hendrickson
rant,
now.
man. Where was the rant? But man, you got him that low. Holy cow. Okay.
I mean, and he's also not gonna have a whole lot of a chance to shine, I think. And this is more projecting on my part. The Bengals are already pass heavy. The defense is absolutely atrocious. So I feel like Cincinnati's going to be playing from behind a lot. So they're already pass heavy. They're going to be playing from behind. So they're just going to be passing the ball. I'm not saying that Chase Brown is a bad running back. I think he's good. I don't think he's in the best situation for him to succeed. And so yeah, I've got him down there. And uh, again, this is a ever changing list, and part of me kind of wants to change the list now, but I'm in too deep.
Hey, sell it, man. Hey, own it. I got you. I had to go Isaiah Pacheco and the Chiefs at 26, man. Very disappointing year last year. The Chiefs were essentially running back by committee with Hunt. They got Mitchell. I like Rashad Smith, the new rookie they have. I have a feeling he's going to take over the starting running back job. But Isaiah Pacheco only had 310 yards. I know he was hurt. He only had one touchdown. So to me, the Chiefs, and I think that's where their issue, even though they made the Super Bowl, they're the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes and his magic. But that run game for that Chiefs needs to get better, or those Chiefs are not going to go anywhere. That division, we talked about the West already, where we talk about the Chargers and the Chiefs and the Broncos and the Raiders. All those other teams got better. What are the Chiefs doing? So I'm going to be curious to see what happens. But I'm calling out that running back room for the Chiefs, man. You need to get better. Pacheco ain't cutting it.
And I don't disagree with you. Part of me is holding out hope that Pacheco can play like he did in his rookie year, because he was looking like he was going to be a really, really solid running back. Problem with most teams is they don't have the right mindset when it comes to running the ball. The Eagles, for example, don't care what the other team is doing. They're running the dang ball. I feel like that's pretty spot on, and the tush push is the perfect example of, we don't care what defensive formation you're lined up in. We're running this play and you're not stopping it. I've got a lot of I have respect for that mindset that they have. I do like that quite a bit. Moving on to 25, and I've got another rookie here. I feel like he's just going to be the starter. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm not big on Jalen Warren, and I think Pittsburgh is the perfect place for Caleb Johnson to go. Powerful running back, Pittsburgh likes to run the ball. I think it's a really good situation. Warren might be the starter early on, but I think Johnson by week 4, he's going to be getting the bulk of the carries. Jason, who do you have here at 25?
I guess great minds think alike here because I had the Pittsburgh Steelers also. Jalen Warren is not that guy. I think he's going to get the start. I think he's going to get the start maybe the first game, first quarter, and then after that, Caleb Johnson's just going to take over. So yeah, Pittsburgh, they're going to need a run game. Right now, quarterback questions. Aaron Rodgers, the statue that he is now, he ain't running nothing. You have DK Metcalf, and then who else is going to step on that up on that wide receiver core? So lots and lots of offensive questions on that Pittsburgh Steelers team right now. So, but I agree with your running back 25. That's where I got him.
And at 24, Jason, this is where I have the Chiefs. This is me holding on to the sliver of hope that I have that Pacheco is going to bounce back, and I think they're probably a better run offense than the Steelers, so that is also another factor that I put into this. Is I just think Andy Reid's a better offensive mind than Arthur Smith, so I think he'll be able to get something going. And like you said, the Chiefs got Rashard Smith; he could be good, but
watch out for him.
Oh yeah, and who do you have at 24?
I'm throwing the Commanders in there because right now, Brian Robinson, 799 yards last year, 8 touchdowns. Not bad, but not good enough. You got Daniels, quarterback, who is phenomenal. Hopefully, he does not have that sophomore slump. The Commanders have something special going on there. And as a Giants fan, wearing an LT throwback jersey right now, that just pains me to say that immensely, to give the Commanders some kind of like just talking good about them, but their run game needs to be addressed. I think they need more help. Eckler, again, serviceable. I think he's getting up there. How much is he going to do? So they need a guy, and I just don't see Brian Robinson as that guy. So I think the Commanders need some help. I got him at 24.
And that's not a bad spot. I do agree with you that Robinson's more than likely not going to be their guy. I would have liked to see them go after a running back higher in this draft because there were a lot of really good guys that were sitting there in the middle rounds that would have been a great compliment. Eckler's getting up there a little bit. He's not the same runner of the football that he used to be. Still great as a receiving threat. Don't get me wrong. I love me some Austin Eckler. He won me multiple fantasy leagues at his peak. I will forever be a fan of his. Moving on to 23, and I've got the Titans here. Pollard over 1,000 yards, 5 touchdowns. Solid production there. Spears didn't have the season I was expecting out of him. I would have had the Titans higher if Spears had panned out like a lot of people were projecting. I know I thought Spears was going to be the bell cow back over Pollard, and clearly that didn't happen. Just not super effective with the touches that he was getting. Pollard averaged just over 4 yards a carry and had the 8th most carries in the entire NFL. So you've got a very solid RB1 and an RB2 with some good upside as well. I think this is a solid spot for the Titans at 23. Jason, you seemed a little surprised by that. Who do you have at 23?
Yes, I have them a little higher, but it's okay. This is where I got my Giants falling in there because I do love Tyrone Tracy. I know he is a little bit undersized, but I think he is good enough that where he's going to do some damage. I think that offense is going to be a lot better too, with essentially Russell Wilson starting at the quarterback position. But throw Cam Scatterbo in there too. I am super high on this guy. I think he is going to be the second coming of CMC. I think he can catch the ball out of the backfield. He's a big bruiser guy. He likes to hit people. So you talk about a thunder and lightning. You know, you got the small, elusive guy. You got the bigger back. to bowl down people. So I love the New York Giants' chances right now at the running back position with Tracy and Scadaboo. I got them at 23 right now, but I think they are going to move up this list. So watch out now. Giants are coming for you, NFC East.
Okay, I respect it, and a lot of these teams in the last 5 very interchangeable for me. Moving on to number 22, Jason, this is where I have the Patriots, Travion Henderson. I'm a big fan of his. Didn't get a lot of carries at Ohio State, no more than 12 in a game. So I think pairing him with, Stevenson didn't even really have that good of a season last year, but
Right.
with a guy who has the injury history that Henderson does, you need to have a solid veteran who can take some of the carries away from him. But I do think Henderson's going to be really good. I feel like I'm higher on this Patriots team than most, which feels really, really weird for me to say because I grew up despising the Patriots and that dynasty that they had. I think Drake May is going to be better than a lot of people are expecting. I hope Stevenson can bounce back. This is what happens when I take 2 weeks off. I forget how to talk. Henderson, he was my third running back in this past draft class behind Hampton and Genty. Judkins was 4, so part of that is why I had the Patriots above the Browns a little bit. But man, I just don't understand why people aren't really respecting the Patriots a whole lot because I think they did a lot of good. I think having Will Campbell there at left tackle, that's going to help both the pass game and the run game. Jason, who do you have at 22?
This is where I threw the Titans in because you were close, but this is where I got them in there,
That's not
which is
far off.
that's not far off. But again, Tony Pollard over 1,000 yards. I was really surprised with that. 5 touchdowns, but now you got a rookie quarterback that's going to start. No Will Levis, so the Mayo King he's out. Can this team? Can Tony Pollard support the offense? Because right now they got a lot of questions. You got a lot of questions, and wide receiver. You have Calvin Ridley. Burks just got hurt, so I mean, this Tennessee Titans team has a lot of offensive questions. And can Pollard carry the load? That remains to be seen. He's got the talent to do it. It's just can that offense focus enough and give him the football and let him run the football. So I don't know. I'm curious to see what this offense is going to look like behind Ward and the rest of the players that they got there. So a lot of question marks on Tennessee, but I got them number 22 with Pollard.
And moving on to 21, I have the New Orleans Saints here. And for me, this is just Alvin Kamara. I don't have a whole lot of faith in any of the guys they got behind him. Kamara's getting up there in age a little bit. As we know, once running backs hit age 30, the fall off could be imminent at any time. He still had almost 1,500 yards from scrimmage last year. He is still a very, very good running back, 4.2 yards per carry, 950 rushing yards. He had 543 receiving yards. He's one of the best dual threat running backs in the entire league. I'd say second only to McCaffrey when McCaffrey's healthy. But again, got Keandre Miller behind him. He hasn't done much, again, because he's playing behind one of the best running backs in the league. So it's going to be hard to get touches when you're behind Alvin Kamara. Jason, who do you have at 21?
Again, we're like right here, man, right here. I got the Saints 21, Alvin Kamara, 950 yards, 6 touchdowns. I wanted to put him lower because Alvin Kamara cost me a fantasy football championship the year what did he have, 5 touchdowns or 6 touchdowns, something stupid.
It was like a 50-something point game on Christmas Eve.
Yeah. So he's dead to me, but I would not be surprised either early in the season that Alvin Kamara gets traded. I would not be surprised. That Saints team has a ton of question marks. Quarterback just to start, wide receiver wise. They are just a hot mess. I know that makes you happy, but
yes,
they are a terrible, terrible football team right now. Kamara's the only bright spot, so don't be surprised a team that is looking for a running back. Some of the teams we just talked about behind us, don't be surprised to see Alvin Kamara get traded, maybe going over to a Commanders team or something, because I know he wants to get out of there. And when they start 0-5, uh,
0-5.
the squawking will begin. That's
I
when
mean,
they start.
I mean,
Yeah.
Kamara on the Commanders. I would kind of like to see that. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to fact check your 0-5 claim right now.
I think they start 0-5 at least.
0-5. Let's see. They got the Cardinals week 1. I think the Cardinals win that. You got 49ers. I'll call that a loss too.
Loss.
Seahawks week 3.
Loss.
Bills loss.
Loss.
The Giants is the most winnable game.
Oh, come on.
Giants, Patriots. Those two are
doing
close.
To me? Man, we can't even beat the Aints? Really?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's the closest. I'll still give the Giants that win, but it's closer than the other 4. So yeah, I guess you're right, Jason. They will start 0-5, and I'll love to see it. I love every second of it. It's going to be beautiful. Moving on to number 20, I have the Houston Texans. And a couple years ago, if you told me the Texans had Joe Mixon and Nick Chubb, top room in the league.
Right. Boom.
Nick Chubb is not the same running back that he was 2 years ago because he did suffer a devastating injury, and he looked like a shell of his former self when he did come back and play last season. So to me, he just projects as a guy who will get, 5 touches a game, maybe at most more if Mixon goes down. But this is a similar situation to the Saints where you're functionally just ranking the RB1 and the depth behind them is questionable because Dameon Pierce, RB3, I feel like he's probably out in Houston. I don't think we're going to see him involved in their offense a whole lot at all. Jason, who do you have at 20?
We're on the same wavelength, man. I got the Texans also. Joe Mixon, of course, that news coming through. I wanted to put them a little bit lower, but I'm still holding out hope that, maybe this foot injury isn't as bad as they say. But with Woody Marks and Dameon Pierce, I mean, you got Chubb. That's just a terrible, terrible backfield for CJ Stroud, and you got Nico Collins, but you're down Tank Dell. Can the couple of rookie wide receivers that they brought in can they bring up that offense? Because CJ Stroud is just he's not that running back quarterback. He is not a Lamar Jackson. He's a pocket passer. He can get you a couple of yards, but he's not a scrambling guy. So they better keep him from running because they're going to need CJ Stroud in that run game. I think the first couple of weeks is going to be pretty atrocious until they figure out some identity. So we'll see. I hope Chubb. I'm glad he's back. But yeah, that was a gruesome injury, and I just don't see him being 1,000-yard running back again.
And yeah, I really hope he can bounce back. I think that would just be a fantastic storyline, really.
Yeah.
Gets out of Cleveland. It would be cool to see him win something now that he's out of Cleveland, just as a cherry on top for the absolute mess that is that organization. Moving on to 19, this hurt my soul a little bit to put this team at 19. I've got the 49ers because of how McCaffrey can't stay healthy, Jason.
Wow.
He cannot stay healthy, and that is a massive problem.
Wow.
I cannot comfortably put him that high, and they lost. Jordan Mason's not on the 49ers anymore. Isaac Guerrero, who did play fairly well when he did get snaps because every other running back on the 49ers was hurt. Granted, that'll happen when your offensive line's also banged up, but little worried the injury. Maybe it's just bad luck. Maybe the injury bug's just hovering over the city of San Francisco. But again, your RB1 can't count on him to be on the field week in, week out. Lost some of your depth in the offseason. And again, Jason, this hurt because McCaffrey, obviously a former Panthers running back, was great there. Devastated to see him leave. Still can't believe they didn't get a first-round pick for him. Absolutely ridiculous. But who do you have at 19? 19.
19. Yeah, this is where I got the Bears. Is DeAndre Swift and a company. Um, Again, lots of questions on an offensive line. I know they went out and tried to improve it, but I want to see something. But this is where I have the Bears. They need a run game. They have probably one of the most dynamic wide receiver rooms in the NFL right now with who they got. But none of it means anything if you don't have a run game. So Bears 19. Can you move up? Can Swift be a better back? That offensive line is what is going to ultimately tell us if he's going to be good or not. Because these running backs are nothing without the guys in the trenches. So shout out to all the offensive linemen out there. You guys are the only reason why any of these guys are on this list and making their way up. Because if you don't have a good offensive line, you're running backwards. So ask Barry Sanders that. So, but 19 Swift Bears offensive line questions. Let's see what you do.
And moving on to 18, Jason, this is where I had the Commanders at. Part of me is still thinking maybe Brian Robinson can break out. I'm heavily doubting it. Eckler's still serviceable, but he can't carry the workload like he used to be able to.
Right.
He was effective last season when he did get carries, but he's just getting significantly less because he can't handle that same workload anymore. But 18, that middle of the pack for that running back room feels like a good spot for him. Robinson still has the potential to break out and have a 1,000-yard season. And as far as RB2s go, I think Austin Eckler is a very, very good RB2. Who do you have at 18?
18, I got the Seattle Seahawks. Kenneth Walker, but can he stay healthy? I love some Jacques Charbonnet. I love a little cheese with my Charbonnet. I think Zach Charbonnet is probably one of the best running back twos in the league, kind of skirting that he should be a running back one. So that's kind of the only reason why I have them a little bit higher. But can Kenneth Walker stay healthy? They're needing going to help Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold's going to need all the help he can get. You lost DK Metcalf on that offense. Can Jackson Smith and Jigba be the top dog, in that wide receiver room? I think he's got the talent, but they're going to need a dynamic run game to keep Sam Darnold from seeing them ghosts of New York. So, but I got 18 Seattle Seahawks. What you got?
Okay, I like that. I had them a few spots higher, again, purely because outside of do we call David Montgomery RB2? Because as far as RB2s go, I think Charbonnet is really high up there.
He's 1A.
Top 1A.
1A. Like there's 1A and 1B. Well, actually, he's 1B. So Montgomery, but we'll get there.
Yeah, no, we will. We're gonna talk about Detroit. It's gonna be a bit though.
We got a little while ago.
Moving on to 17, and this feels weird because I like the running backs that they have, but we just haven't seen everything that we would want to see out of them to put them any higher. I have the Jets, and I think they could absolutely fly up this list. But Breece Hall, he's been hurt a little bit. Braylon Allen, he was all right, not the most efficient with the carries. He did get in his rookie year, but he is also just 21 years old, so he has so much room to grow as a player. I would like to see him succeed. I was a big fan of his going into the draft process, so fingers crossed that could turn into a little bit of a dynamic duo there. And you obviously also have a running threat with Justin Fields at quarterback, who's not hurt as bad as originally thought he could have been. So that'll be good for them. Jason, who do you have at 17?
The team I have here is always just underperforming, and we've been waiting for them to do something here. It is the Cardinals. I got James Conner who is a really good running back. He, almost 1,100 yards last year, 8 touchdowns. I don't think he nearly gets enough credit, but I think the lackluster play of Kyler Murray really is a shadow or a reason why you don't hear a lot about James Conner and his play and how good he is. You got Marvin Harrison Jr. on there. You got a stud tight end. But Kyler Murray's play kind of casts an ugly shadow on all those guys. But James Conner, he is a really, really good running back. Is he a great running back? I don't think he's really right there, but he has done some phenomenal things, especially getting out of Pittsburgh, where nobody even really thought he was going to be a starter in this league, let alone doing what he's doing. So give me James Conner at number 17.
I mean, I don't hate that. I wouldn't say I like that. Moving on to 16, and Jason, this is where I've got some of the rookies at these next couple spots. I've got the Chargers up at 16. I think Najee Harris's eye injury, that feels like a nothing burger. I think it's just a laceration. He's gonna be fine. Hampton, I've said it before on multiple shows. I am very, very high on him. I've watched him play in person. It was obvious for the first time I saw that dude touch the ball that he was going to the league.
Right.
And playing for Jim Harbaugh is the perfect scenario for him. Harbaugh loves to run the ball, and it also helps that the Chargers don't have the best receiving threats in the world either. So I think that's going to be all the more reason for them to be run heavy. Yes, I do think Trey Harris could be solid, but again, we don't really know. Harbaugh offense, super run heavy. Hampton, Harris. I think it's going to be Hampton from the get-go because Harris just wasn't efficient his last couple seasons in Pittsburgh.
Right.
And I'm really excited to see this Chargers offense, Jason. I think this run game could be super fun to watch. Hampton, really explosive, underrated as a receiving threat. But who do you have here at 16?
This is where I got your boys. I got to throw in the Panthers there. Chuba
Oh,
Hubbard, very
boo.
impressed. I know. But look,
Boo this man.
It's tough. It's tough. I look. I could have had them lower, but I think
Lower.
Chuba Hubbard. Yeah, Chuba Hubbard showed
Get
out
out of here.
He, almost 1,200 yards, 10 touchdowns. He was the highlight and the bright star on that offense for you guys last year. But can he do it again? Is he going to be able? Is he that guy in Carolina, or does the other ETN brother slide in there and do something? So Chuba Hubbard, I really like him, but I need to see a little more. I need to see this year. So I mean, I already got you high up there. You're 16. You're basically half the league.
That's
stinks.
smack dab in the middle.
Well, I mean, hey, it's better than being dead last or close to dead last. So.
I mean, look, you're not wrong. And Jason, you didn't even mention Rico Dowdle. They've got 2,000-yard rushers in that backfield. You've got the ETN brother. I think he could be solid, but this Panthers running room is set up for success, Jason. 16, terrible. I hate it. I've got the Panthers higher than that.
Offensive line. Let's see what you can do. Offensive line.
It's good. I'm sick and tired of people acting like it's not good. This is absurd. I don't understand it whatsoever at all. Good offensive line. We'll leave it at that. Number 15, I've got the Las Vegas Raiders. I hate saying that also. Ashton Genty. I think he's going to be really, really good. Again, Pete Carroll coming in as head coach. We saw in Seattle that he likes running the ball. He had Marshawn Lynch. And I'm not saying that Ashton Genty will be Marshawn Lynch, but he's a running back who can carry the ball a lot. And while that could be a concern because he did get a lot of carries at Boise State his last 2 seasons of college, so the wear and tear could be there. That's potentially problematic, but I really, really think Genty could be something special in this league. Jason, who do you have at 15?
Man, it hurts a little bit, but I'm going to put the Jets in there. I think Breece Hall has a much better coaching staff now. I think he's got some positivity around them. I think with Justin Fields being a run threat also, although the dislocated toe, we'll see what that does to him, about being a run threat. But they also have Allen. I think they got a pretty decent running back room there. I think the coaching staff is a heck of a lot better too. So Brees Hall, this is his year to shine. If he doesn't do something, I think he falls back. So, I mean, I think he really needs to have a breakout year. He only had 876 yards last year, behind a terrible Jets team. I know he had some injuries, but he's got to be healthy. He's got to do something. Because if not, this is the year where I think he starts to really fall off and fall out, even probably fall off this list if he doesn't do something.
Yeah. Sorry, excuse me.
Yeah.
Moving on to 14. This is where I have the Seahawks. Like we mentioned before, Charbonnet, one of the best RB2s in the league. Kenneth Walker is very good if he's healthy, and that's become a major problem for Kenneth Walker, and you hate to see it because he is really, really good when he's able to stay healthy. I feel like 14 is a good spot for Seattle.
Right.
And like you said earlier, Sam Darnold, feel like he's going to be leaning heavy on the run because he doesn't have Justin Jefferson to just throw the ball up to and hope that he comes down with it.
Right.
I do believe that JSN will be a good wide receiver one in this league. I'm just a little bit concerned about the offensive line and making Sam Darnold see ghosts again. But again, Charbonnet, one of the best running back twos in the entire league. Kenneth Walker, very, very good starter when he stays healthy, if he stays healthy. Jason, who do you have at 14?
This is where I have Chase Brown and the Bengals. That's why I was a little shocked with you.
Yeah.
I think he is better than advertised. I mean, he barely got to 1,000 yards last year. He had 990 yards last year, but I think that offense had issues because they were always playing from behind. I mean, they had to go into shootouts and they were losing 40-point games. But I think that defense is going to be better this year. And I think that offense is going to rely on the run a little bit more. Yes, you got two dynamic wide receivers in Chase and Higgins. But it starts at the run game, and Chase Brown does not get enough love. I'm going to give him some flowers, give him some love. I got him. I think he's going to have over 1,000 yards this year. I think he's going to go for about 1,200 yards. So watch out for that Bengals running game this year.
I mean, hey, like we've said a million times, this was a hard list to make.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate it. At 13, Jason, this is where I have the Cardinals. I think James Conner has been pretty good these past couple of seasons. Two straight. Good Lord. I'm losing my mind here. I can't talk. Trey Benson, young running back too, with potential to develop as a player behind a good running back like James Conner, which almost feels weird to say after his career in Pittsburgh didn't really work out like we expected. But Jason, who do you have here at 13?
Man, this was tough on my list here, but I am throwing the Cowboys in there. I think they are a little bit better. Ooh. Yes.
Come on now, Jason.
I should have had them lower on the list.
Exactly.
But it's not as bad as it looks, and I lost my note here.
It's pretty bad.
And that's no, I think Blue is going to make it, but I think Javonte Williams, I don't think he was used right in Denver. I think he's going to show up and show out in Dallas. So give me the Cowboys. It pains me to say that, and it hurts my body. Again, I got my Giant stuff on here to rank them that high, but I think we're sleeping on them. I think it's going to be better than expected. Why I'm saying that, I have no idea. I think I may be. I think I just got kidnapped by aliens or something, and so
blink twice if you need help.
I think I need I might get a drug test tomorrow at work, but no, I think Williams is going to be better than advertised. I think he's going to be really good, and I like Blue. I think that kid got Jalen Blue, is Jaden Blue is going to be really, really good for them. So I think they're sleeping on him. This is one of those things that, again, the Dallas Cowboys need the run game. That's what, historically, that has what has gotten them to the promised land. So I think this is one of those bait and switch things. We're all paying attention to, all the drama and the defensive drama and all that stuff. And then they're going to come back and do something special. So, yes, Michael Davis, I expect a envelope in the mail, but yeah, give me the Cowboys.
Did he bribe you to say that?
No, which is even more disappointing. Damn, that hurt.
You should ask for some money, man.
Yeah, that hurt. That hurt my soul, but that's okay. Let's move on.
Yeah, okay, moving on. At number 12, I have the Miami Dolphins, Devon Achane.
Wow.
Super explosive player. This is where it gets really hard, Jason.
Yeah. Top 12
top
is tough. Yep,
tricky.
top 12 is tough.
Very, very tricky. And Jalen Wright as RB2. Good, very good RB2. Not the most exceptional season. Last year, only 249 yards. And he did play in 15 games as well. So would have liked to see a little bit more out of him. But when you got a guy like Achane ahead of you, it's going to be really hard to get touches as a rookie. Maybe he could develop into something more. But, I mean, that Dolphins offense is just loaded with speed. Achane, I think he's going to be really, really good as long as he can stay healthy. And, right, fingers crossed that he can develop into something good. Jason, who do you have at 12?
I got Aaron Jones, that Vikings offense, a little over 1,100 yards last year, 5 touchdowns. I think he was pivotal in Sam Darnold's success, and I think they're really gonna need him if JJ McCarthy's going to do anything. So if they think JJ is going to just slide in there and take over this team and throw deep balls to Justin Jefferson and Addison and Taj Felton, they need the run game, and Aaron Jones, they're going to lean on him a lot, and they're going to lean on that run game a lot. So I have them high up because I think they're going to be used. That's the only way they're going to get those guys open downfield.
And moving on to 11, I have the Rams. And again, this is a situation where you are functional. It's just the RB1. We're talking about running back rooms. You got to think about the depth, Jason. Kyron Williams. I'm comfortable calling him a top 5 to 7 running back in the league. The issue is there is not depth behind him.
Corum is not bad.
He's not bad. But in the rankings, I feel like
RB2, you just need a not bad
factor. But when you've got teams that actually have a good RB2, it's tricky. I stand by it. It's about the room, not just about the RB1.
I got you.
Jason.
I got you.
But who do you have at 11?
This is another one that got the NFC North there. Josh Jacobs for Green Bay. Over 1,300 yards last year, 15 touchdowns. But I think that might be the pinnacle. With that wide receiver room, picking up Golden now, what are they going to do with all those guys? I think they have more wide receivers than they can count. So I see a lot of those guys kind of getting dropped off with Watson and Wicks and Reed. I mean, who knows? Romeo Dobbs, who knows who's going to be the true number 1 there in the running back room. So I think that is definitely going to be a pass-happy offense. So, but Josh Jacobs, phenomenal running back, but I want to see, was his last year at the top, and now we're going to see a decline, or is he going to keep going up? So I want to see what happens, but he's right there cracking the top 10. He's at that spot. He's right there. I think he might be able to do it this year, but I need to see something from that Green Bay offense.
And at 10, and this is hard again, Jason. Tricky list to make.
It is, man.
I've got Jonathan Taylor. Again,
What?
really similar. It's God, it's the room.
It's about the room,
Dude,
Jason.
the room's getting hot, man. Woo, man.
You're telling me, okay? I'm in the attic.
Wow.
I've isolated myself
10?
from the AC. Again, same as Kyron Williams.
Top 5 to 7 running back in the league. Zero issue saying that. The depth behind him isn't there, and we're talking about the rooms. I just said it. I'll say it again. It's about the room. 10 feels like a good spot for the Colts. Jason, who do you have at 10?
I still believe in him. It's hard not to. I'm thinking this is a bounce back year, but I got CMC and the 49ers. I know that running back room is cursed. I think it's the field. I think San Francisco needs to go out and redo their field. It's like the Commanders field. It's just there's some negative juju going on that field. I think they need to get an exorcist out there and try to uncurse it, because every time a running back walks on that field in San Francisco, like their leg snaps. But I think CMC bounces back. He is a Hall of Fame running back.
100%.
That I think this is the year. I think this is the year we're going to see him bounce back. San Francisco needs him. Brock Purdy had a terrible year last year, and I think Brock Purdy, and that's why I didn't have him high on my quarterback list. I think Brock Purdy is really dependent on people around him, and if he doesn't have Ayuk, if he doesn't have CMC and some kind of run game, he needs George Kittle. He does not succeed. He cannot carry that team. He needs the guys around him to help carry him. So give me CMC at number 10. I cannot drop him out of the top 10 because it's Christian McCaffrey. It's run CMC. I just can't do it yet. If he flops this year, gets hurt again, then he's got to fall back off the list, and that pains me to say that. But until he does, I got to still put him in the top 10 because he is still that dynamic of a player.
And I don't hate that. That was one of the harder decisions that I did have to make in this list.
Yeah.
But moving on to number 9. And again, I just want to preface this by saying it's about the room, Jason. It's about the room. I've got the Minnesota Vikings. Aaron Jones is aging like fine wine. He had a much better season last year than a lot of people expected. And their RB2, they've got Jordan Mason, who I mentioned earlier, who was one of the many 49ers running backs who saw playing time because everyone ahead of him got injured. I think this is a really good addition for Minnesota that helps boost this running back room into the top 10. Jason, who do you have at 9?
I got to give some love up there in Western and New York with the Buffalo Bills, because no one circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. James Cook does not get enough love. I hope he gets the contract he wants. I know he just cracked 1,000 yards, but he was tied for first in touchdowns last year, running back with 16. And again, Josh Allen, he needs some other help. Now they got Ray Davis. So I mean, they got some serviceable guys behind them, but they're still missing that true number one wide receiver. So I really think that the Buffalo Bills are going to need Cook more than anything, because Josh Allen, he can't just throw the ball to Josh Allen. Josh Allen can't run the ball all the time. He's going to end up getting hurt. So they really need Cook to lean on. And I think he's going to have another 15, 16 touchdown year, because he's that good. He's just, I don't know why he just doesn't get enough love. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with you there. James Cook, feels weird to call him underrated, but I feel like a lot of people don't give him the credit that he deserves. So that's how he's kind of landed that underrated tag, in my opinion.
Right.
And moving on to number 8, Jason. This will be the last time that I say this. It's about the room. It's about the room. At number 8, I have my Carolina Panthers. Chuba Hubbard, phenomenal season. They brought in Rico Dowdle, another 1,000-yard rusher. That's 2 they got on the team. They were top 10 in run blocking win rate last season. That's good. That is objectively a good place to be. Trevor Etienne, good rookie running back. Will he see playing time? Who knows? Because he's playing behind 2 1,000-yard rushers. So it's going to be hard for him to get touches, Jason. Yeah, Panthers at 8. I feel zero shame about that whatsoever. Who do you have at 8?
You are gonna milk that sucker as much as you can. Just come on, man. 2,000-yard runners.
Exactly.
Hey, look, I got Carolina coming up in that division too, man. I think Ted McMillan. I think Bryce Young has a bounce back year this year. I think he's going to be that dude. I think he's going to be better. He looked better the second half of the season last year after he got benched. I think that kind of woke him up. So I don't sleep on the Panthers.
Hunter Renfrow is going to be nice.
That high in the running game. But my number 8. I don't know. I read the room. Number 8, Bucky Irvin.
Read the room.
Yeah, exactly. Bucky Irvin and those Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man, with White, with Irvin. Bucky Irvin over 1,100 yards last year, man. 8 touchdowns. He is a dynamic runner, man. You talk about somebody that can just pop one and light a spark. And I tell you what, man, Baker Mayfield showed me something last year. I still cannot forget the rush he had where the I forgot who was running after him and he stiffed arm and ran first down. Baker Mayfield really, really has showed out. That Bucs team is going to be Nick Bosa. There you go. Is going to be dangerous. Now, if you stiff arm Nick Bosa, you're doing something. But
insane.
Yeah, Bucky Irvin, man. He is a special runner, and I think this is going to be that year where I think he takes steps forward in being that dynamic, and it helps to have White sitting behind you too, he's not a slouch either. And especially with that wide receiver core that they have. I mean, I know Mike Evans getting a little older, but he can still produce. Godwin, McMillan, they done picked up, the rookie there too. So watch out for Tampa Bay. Yeah. So if their defense can show up, Tampa Bay is going to be something special. But yeah, number 8, Bucky Irvin, read the room.
I like that. And moving on to 7, this is where I have the Buffalo Bills, and Jason already touched on him earlier. James Cook, somehow an underrated running back. He was tied for the most rushing touchdowns in the league last season with Derrick Henry, which, I mean, to me, that speaks volumes about the kind of player that James Cook is.
Yes.
If you're in the same conversation with Derrick Henry, who is just an absolute dominant force that we just don't see a lot at the running back position. Super fun player to watch. Buffalo's got Ray Davis as a backup. Rookie last season. Could be solid, but James Cook's definitely doing a lot of heavy carrying for this ranking with the Bills at 7, but yeah. I feel like it's a good spot. James Cook, phenomenal player, and
I like that.
Great compliment to Josh Allen. Jason, who do you have at 7?
This is where I'm like befuddled. Kyren Williams for the Rams. Again, you talk about not getting enough love. I'm going to read the room, but when the one guy in the room with a lot of other guys is better than a lot of the other people in all the other rooms, but Kyren Williams, almost 1,300 yards, 14 touchdowns last year, dynamic runner. I cannot put him any lower than that. He is top 10 talent. Yes, I know the Rams are not as deep as most of the other teams as far as the running back room, but Kyren Williams, man, especially, again, I look at things a lot of times as the fantasy football eyeballs because I am huge into fantasy football. So it's hard for me to look at these guys and not just see numbers floating around in my head with points and things. But Kyren Williams, again, one of those guys I don't think gets enough love as a starting running back. I know he's not the biggest running back. He's not the flashiest, but man, all he does is score touchdowns. What else can you do? So I got him number 7.
I like that. And at Number 6, Jason, I have the Bucks. You already talked about him earlier. Bucky Irving, super special young player. He's going to be good. Rashad White, really good RB2. Again, that Bucks offense is going to be so dangerous. And it feels weird giving props to NFC South teams, but the Bucks are without a doubt a top 10 running back room in the league, and I was super close to putting them top 5. Almost. That's something that might change. Give me like a couple weeks. Might depend on my mood. But Jason, who do you got here at 6?
This is where I got to throw in Devon Achane. If he stays healthy, he is such a dynamic running back. And they got some guys on the room with Wright, and then they got some other players there behind them in that running back room. But Devon Achane, he can catch the ball. He is speed. And you talked about speed on that offense. You look at Waddle, you look at Hill. I mean, they got cheetahs on that, on that squad. So, and Achane is one of them. He's a top 5 running back. I can't put him there because he's got to stay healthy. He's one of those guys, when you watch him, you're seeing something special, and you're waiting for that next gear, and then all of a sudden he gets hurt or something happens and he's out. He's got to pull this or something, and he's like, yeah, you get disappointed. So because you're waiting for him to break it. So I'm hoping this year we get to see a full Monty of Devon Achane, because I think he is that good of a running back.
He is definitely amazing, and the health concerns are why I had him lower. When he's on the field, I'm 100% comfortable calling him top 5. I think you were pretty spot on with that, Jason. To start off my top 5, I have the Green Bay Packers. Josh Jacobs, 15 rushing touchdowns last season, over 1,300 yards. Emmanuel Wilson, 500 yards, 4 touchdowns, RB2. Solid player there. Yeah, I think the Packers running game is really good. Yes, their wide receivers are an absolute mess. Running game's good though. Josh Jacobs, 27 years old. He's got a handful of years left in the tank before we're going to see that drop off, I feel like. And again, this is really tricky from 11 to now, all very interchangeable.
Yep.
Genuinely very interchangeable here. This is just where I landed. I'm pretty high on Josh Jacobs, and Emmanuel Wilson is a very solid RB2. Jason, who do you have to start off your top 5?
I mean, I thought I was high when I had the Cowboys that high, but man, you put Josh Jacobs in front of Jonathan Taylor, the Colts. I mean, Taylor, again, I know the room is not as deep.
I was just going to say it.
I know the room was not as deep, but Jonathan Taylor, man, 1,400 plus yards, 11 touchdowns. He's going to be the man again. There is way too many quarterback questions in Indianapolis right now. So they are going to lean very heavy.
It is probably just going to be Danny Dimes, though. I think he is just going to be their starter.
Well, I feel. Let me send the Colts fans some flowers now, because Richardson. I don't know, man. He came in with a flash, and I think he's going out in a flash too. But so they are really going to lean on that running game. And you know what? Jonathan Taylor is still a top 5 runner in this league. He is a top 5 talent. You can't put it as. I mean, he. Even coming back from that injury and to do what he did last year on that Colts team that really didn't have much of an identity, especially on offense, phenomenal. So I have to have him high up there, and I got high expectations for him again, because he is essentially the offense for the Indianapolis Colts right now.
You're not wrong, and it did suck a little bit putting Jonathan Taylor that low, because I was also a big fan of him coming out of Wisconsin at number 4. And this is where I risk incurring the wrath of some fans. And I hate to sound like a broken record. It's about the room. The room. This is where I have the Eagles. Yes, Saquon Barkley, number 1 by a country mile, the best running back in the league. I'm justifying putting him at 4 because it is about the room. A.J. Dillon, who knows how good he's going to be. Will Shipley, he's going to be solid as a special teamer, situational receiver. Barkley, phenomenal, but it is about the room. This is running back room rankings, not running back rankings. If it was just that, I'm putting Barkley at 1. And again,
but when you have Godzilla in the room, it's hard to not count the room. Wow. Okay, that's a shocker. I mean, I can respect it, but that's I mean, woof.
And yeah. Who do you have it for?
I got Bijan Robinson for the Falcons. A little over 1,400 yards, 14 touchdowns. I still don't think the Falcons utilize him the right way. Again, he's another one of those guys where he is unbelievable talent, but you kind of scratch your head and go, why are you using him this way? Or why aren't you running? Like, it's the fourth quarter and he's sitting on the sideline. What are you guys doing? Like, can you put him out there and win the game or what? Like, so John Robinson, I think he's going to have, again, a breakout year. He's going to be top in fantasy points. You know, he's going to be a first round pick for everybody fantasy football, but I think he's going to have 1,500 plus yards this year. I think that Falcons offense, because I see from what I see, and I'm projecting, I'm doing my Aaron projecting. I really see Penix being the starting quarterback for this team.
Oh yeah.
I have a feeling, Cousins will be traded at some point in time here or just outright released. But Penix handing the ball to Bijan. You got Drake London down the field. Maybe Kyle Pitts may actually show up and play some football. We'll see. But Bijan Robinson, man, I think he is going to be a phenomenal talent for the Dirty Birds. There you go, number 4.
I like that. And number 3 is where I have the Atlanta Falcons. I hate putting an NFC South team that high, but Bijan Robinson is fantastic. Amazing player. I do agree with you that the Falcons haven't really been using him right at all, which I'm kind of grateful for, honestly, as a Panthers fan. Let them keep misusing him. I'm cool with that. But they have Tyler Algier at RB2 and
who's very good. I don't
think
he gets
very
good.
He
is very serviceable number 2. He is really good.
Top 3 running back 2, if not just number 2, because in my head I'm calling David Montgomery the Lions RB2, even though he is just a 1B, really. But for the sake of my thought process, Montgomery's the best RB2 by a lot. But yeah, when you're talking about the room, you got to talk about the backup, and Algier is a very, very good RB2. Mouthing off with Mike in the comments, football is almost here, absolutely, and we are winding down tonight's episode. We just have the top two after Jason gives his third. And Jason, who do you have here at number 3?
Mike, did you hear what he said about the Eagles? I think that's going to be some offline stuff going on there. So mouthing off with Mike, he may have some words with you on that here.
Again, it was still top 5. It's about the
again, these are all interchangeable right now when you get this low, because now you're talking about the cream of the cream, the crop. This is the biggest guys here. Number 3, and this was tough. This top 5 was really, really difficult for me, especially in so we're gonna have to chat. I got Derrick Henry and the Ravens. They're in my number 3. I love Derrick Henry, the King. He is phenomenal. There's no slowing him down. Dude he had 1,900 yards last year, 325 carries. I think he's just a specimen. He is going to be that guy that I think can do this for the next 10 years. I think he's just going to keep running. He's that much of a phenomenal running back. But I love some Derrick Henry. You throw him. It doesn't even matter who else is RB2, because you got him and you got Lamar Jackson. They end up being the number 1 rushing team in the league anyways, because you have 2 of the most dynamic players in the NFL. And how can you not? Green always rise to the top. So give me Derrick Henry, number 3 with that Ravens. It'd be interesting to see if Derrick Henry does slide off even a little bit but he still ain't coming out of that top 5 for a long, long time. So
No.
all hail the king.
Yeah. At number 2, I mean, hey, Rick ate it in the comments earlier. All hail King Henry. At number 2, this is where I have the Baltimore Ravens, Derrick Henry, ageless wonder, absolute monster of a player. And Justice Hill, while not really that big of a rushing threat, he is a very, very good third down back, talented receiving back. So that is a good complement to a physical, powerful player like Derrick Henry. And obviously, if we want to just talk running game in general, what Lamar Jackson brings as a rusher elevates Baltimore to the best running attack in the entire league.
Right.
I would just talking about running attack as a whole, I would definitely put Baltimore over Detroit, I think, because of Lamar Jackson. Maybe not
Yeah.
definitely, but I would put
that'd be
him above
tough.
Detroit.
Yeah. If you look at it that bigger picture wise, yeah, I can see that. It is hard. It is hard not. Yeah, I see that. Bijan number 1. Ooh. Gibbs number 5. Whoa.
Gibbs 4,
49ers.
Josh Jacobs 5.
Yeah. Kenny 49ers
Okay,
dropping some heat.
Okay, I see the vision there. I kind of respect it, honestly. But Jason, who do you have here at number 2?
This is tough. This was I kind of flip-flopped these two guys in these two rooms because you're talking about two monster individuals. But number 2, I had to put the Eagles, Saquon Barkley, and that Eagles run game. Over 2,000 yards. What a season! It again, as a Giants fan, it hurts to cheer an Eagle, but I'm so happy for Saquon. Even if he's just getting out of New York, but he goes to Philadelphia, runs for 2,000 yards, has probably one of the greatest NFL highlights of all time with the backwards jump, and then wins a Super Bowl. I mean, this is like a Disney movie. You can't even write a script like this. He literally got out of purgatory and then made it to the mountaintop. So, but what concerns me is 345 carries. He, knock on wood, he had a healthy season last year. Can Saquon, after all those carries and all those yards, continue to have a healthy season? Because the Eagles are going to need a good RB2 to save them legs and to make sure that he stays healthy. So I love me some Saquon. I'd like to do a leg workout with him one day, just so I can fall down and say that I tried with Saquon Barkley. But he's right now number 2, possibly number 1. It's like 1A and 1B with this right now when you talk about when you get this high up here.
Yeah, and consensus number 1 here. I was expecting this when I first decided that we were going to do this theme for the show. It's the Detroit Lions at number 1. Yep. Jahmyr Gibbs, top 5 running back in the league, guaranteed, arguably top 3. I think he's behind Saquon and Derrick Henry. But when you add in David Montgomery as your 1B, it feels weird calling him RB2 because he is still really, really good. 12 rushing touchdowns, almost 800 yards on the ground. As the second target in that backfield, that is an incredibly impressive stat line. Detroit needs to make the Super Bowl. I just need it. It would be phenomenal for that city. That team is so much fun to watch. And it would also just be, and the story for Jared Goff would be really cool because to a lot of people, it felt like he was being sent to Detroit for his career to just die. And it has not done that. He's had a resurgence of his career in Detroit. And whoever would have thought we'd be saying that 10 years ago, that someone's having a career resurgence playing for the Detroit Lions. I mean, Jason, what else do you want to add about Detroit being here at number one.
Well, Goff, it helps when you have two of the most dynamic running backs in the NFL. You got the sun god, Amon-Ra St. Brown. You have a wide receiver core. Now, my biggest concern, and I was trying to talk myself in it and out of it, is Detroit just lost all their coordinators. So they just lost their offensive coordinator. So coming in is the new OC. Are they going to have the same vision? Are they going to use these guys the same way? So I'm really curious to see how this coordinator in Detroit, you know, how that newness, you still got Dan Campbell, but he's the master motivator. I want to go play football for Dan Campbell, and I literally would die if I ever went on a football field and tried to play and got tackled by somebody. They would have to literally like pick me up with a spatula. But I want to go out there and run through a brick wall for Dan Campbell. He's that dynamic of a coach. But the coordinators, the guys calling the plays, calling the shots, are they going to utilize Gibbs and Montgomery the way they were? I think so. I think Gibbs is going to be the number one fantasy football running back this year. I think he's going to be the number one running back overall this year. I think this is where he kind of takes even more of a step forward. I think it kind of hurts Montgomery a little bit because I don't think he gets as much. I think Gibbs is going to be, the guy that really takes over that room and really makes him one and then a running back too. Because, you got 1A and 1B right now in that running back room. But I think this is his moment. I think this is where Gibbs becomes the best running back in the NFL this year. And Detroit, I would love to see Detroit in the Super Bowl. It's like Detroit and the Bills. You want to give them a Super Bowl just because you talk about two franchises that have been starving for a championship. The Bills went there 4 times in a row, couldn't win one. Detroit's never been there. They've always toiled in anonymity. So to have two of these like good feeling stories come together, I think it would be great. We've come close, but unfortunately, again, Dan Campbell kind of gets in his own way a little bit and has had some suspect play calling. But I'm excited for this year. I think we are going to see some dynamic play out of the running backs. I think this is going to be a little more old school coming up. I think the noise about the respect for the running backs and not getting their money and not getting paid, I think a lot of that was listened to. And you saw some of the play last year from some of the running backs out there that said, hey, wait a minute, we are important. We will win you a Super Bowl. And look what Saquon Barkley did, for the Philadelphia Eagles in that run game. So, Gibbs, number one. But as you said, man, this is a living, breathing list. This can change week 1. So I'm excited for week 1 to see what happens.
Without a doubt, it's going to be so much fun. And as much as I love getting to do these longer shows in the off season, I am looking forward to getting back to the regularly scheduled programming because, again, being live for over an hour, I start to just lose it a little bit. I forget how to talk. And also, shout out to Mouthing Off with Mike, who had an absolute marathon of a live stream.
Yeah,
a
7
couple
hours.
weeks back,
and
7
minutes.
hours. That is insane. I don't think I could do that without a gallon of coffee. And a million bathroom breaks. Massive shout out to Mike for that show. Big props to him. I'm super excited for football. I hope y'all are too. That'll do it for this episode of a Gridiron Address. Shout out to Jason Calenzo for coming on. Be sure to check out his show, 3 from Deep, and Sideline Savants is going to be coming back since football is getting close. We got to talk about fantasy.